Good morning, everybody. Howard Lindzon chiming in on the degenerate economy this week. Shout out to a personal investment of mine, LA Golf. I don't have a great Stocktwits hat yet and working on it. So LA Golf gets a shout out this week, and congrats to founder Bryson DeChambeau for making it to the Ryder Cup team of the United States, even though he's on the Live Tour. I'm very excited about that for Bryson. All right. I'm here to talk degeneracy. So let's talk about Zyn, which is Philip Morris, which is stock that I own in my Degenerate Economy Index, blowing out numbers. This is cancer, slow-induced cancer. They've slowed down cancer. Americans are thrilled about this and addicted at levels that we haven't seen since smoking started. The most important thing about this Zyn chart is not just how big they are, but this little tick down in growth. And that is obviously caused by people like Tucker Carlson getting into the business. Because of course, if you're poison in media, it's okay to sell poison to America's youth. So this is why I don't love this trend. But at the same time, relative to poisons of the past, we ain't getting rid of this trend with the governments, with the leaders that we have. Hopefully, we do curb, and it's a sad state of affairs that we're not curbing China from shipping us vapes. But this is a trend that's massive. I've been talking about it for a couple of years. I do not Zyn myself. I must try this at some point, but I'm scared of it. Highly addictive, but at the same time, this trend is moved into the longevity world, meaning some of the most fit people I know in their 50s and 60s, this is their vice. So this trend is massive. We're not going to like where this goes. And right now, Philip Morris is the leader in that. 190 million cans, bananas. Okay. Next, this one's near and dear to my heart because I once was this person that cared about this rule, so I shouldn't be mad that it's happening. But we've gone from the most lame duck SEC, as I say, where random fines, no direction, kick the can, be a prick, SEC is out, and the most laissez-faire, insiders get rich, worry about it later, greed, grift is underway. So what easier way to keep the civilization at bay? Loosen day trading requirements. People are going to be thrilled about this. If you do not understand the winners and losers of loosening day trading requirements and loosening accreditation, then you are the sucker in the room. So just understand that this is lowering of regulations, which is fantastic for banks and could be fantastic for people that take investing seriously and get mentored properly and understand risk management, but this is going to be ugly for most. So this is a massive new on-ramp for the degenerate economy. This will be poo-pooed, Howard's being an old man, but United States margin debt passed $1 trillion. And this is just one data point from the world, and we can see that it's trended up since, beginning of time. What I worry about, and again, it's not the number one thing on my mind, is that what the products people are using, they probably are underestimating the amount of margin debt. Every great ticker from Robinhood to Coinbase has a 2-time leverage product. Again, I'm not so much against these products. It's just someone who knows the game and has made every mistake trading these type of products, knows how it's going to end. I can't predict the timing of this, but this trend is obviously, we can see from the bear market that ended, has just been on a straight up jihad. Doesn't mean this doesn't go to 2 trillion, but this is just truly a sign of young people participating in the degenerate economy. I get more excited when the VIX is 60 and when people are heading to cash. The good news is there's tons of cash on the sidelines. The bad news is people are leveraging themselves. Maybe not so much to their homes because they can't afford them, but to their brokerage accounts. We could see this coming. Polymarket and Kalshi, these are the two prediction market leaders. Again, this is inside baseball, and the cynic in me just hates this, but as an investor, I totally get it. Polymarket and Kalshi just raised each another couple $100 million. We now know why Polymarket is raising money. They bought their way back into the United States with an exchange deal, and you can see the future. It's not just DraftKings and FanDuel. They've got new competitors, DraftKings and FanDuel. And that comes from Robinhood partnering with Kalshi. That comes from Kalshi. That comes from Polymarket now having their own brokerage where you can just trade from prediction markets. So again, this goes to this whole underlying trend of degenerate. And why I'm super bullish on this doesn't mean it's good or bad for the market. I'm bullish on this because as a non-better myself, Polymarket, Kalshi, Robinhood, and Polymarket are my way to start betting. 50-year-olds and above that understand markets will now have a new toy, which is a business that didn't exist a year ago and just getting started on the likes of Robinhood and to be copied by every brokerage around the world, which is prediction market betting. So massive boost to the degenerate economy, and this is not going away. All right, next, the amount of news and on-ramps to Bitcoin has been exploding, and yet Bitcoin ownership among adult Americans is still just tiny. So we know where this is going. We don't know if it is a straight line, but I would imagine we're heading towards at least 50% of Americans owning Bitcoin in some way or another. So we are in the early, much like e-commerce as a trend, with Shopify and e-commerce. We can't predict when it gets there, but on some trend format, we are still in the very early days of that. How do I know? A second dimension of how do I know this? This is a sign of froth and a sign of stupidity and a sign of Wall Street doing their job, creating supply for the demand that's coming. These are public companies with a Bitcoin treasury strategy. And two things happening. Many of my friends are rolling out SPACs and Bitcoin treasury companies and Solana treasury companies. So again, I'm not commenting on how smart or stupid or good idea this is. This is just a trend in plain sight that Main Street has not quite caught on to yet. And it is, I can't predict when this will end, but even Stocktwits has Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And so the question is, how many companies spin this as an investment? And while Bitcoin and crypto is going up, every company will start saying, we've taken 10, 20% of our US Treasury, what would be in US Treasury, and put it into Bitcoin. So we're still in the early days of this. How this ends, I think we know how it ends because supply overwhelms demand. But right now we are in this massive trend, and we can see from these numbers that we're still on the biggest pictures in the early days of that. So again, we're doing these weekly. It helps me kind of organize my thoughts. If you have a great chart that you think I should cover or someone that you saw, obviously you know how to reach me, send me out and we'll shout you out. But we're trying to frame the degenerate economy each week, the good, the bad, the ugly, and hope you're enjoying.